takeaway from Coach?
You know, this was a huge game for us, huge. And the reason was, you know, we have a team that, you know, in all my years, my first year here, I inherited a team. So it had been a team that nobody had ever played before for me, but we had a first team all-league player. It was the first time ever having a team that no one's ever played. And learning and getting better and all that happened in a very difficult preseason. And then we burst onto the league scene with 3 wins. And everybody, oh my God, how did we do that? And then the last 7 days, it's been hell. We played terrible 2 games in a row. We played like we didn't have confidence. We played like we didn't care. And I don't think anything those are true. It just appeared that way. And today was in the old-fashioned gut check. You know, if this was football, that everybody would say, "Oh wow, I understand that." But this was a gut check game. This was a who are you game. This had nothing to do with our fan base, nothing to do with anybody outside our circle. It had everything to do within our inner circle. Who are we? And what are we going to show today? And we prepared for that more than we prepared for Green Bay. And I'm very, very pleased with the outcome. I think these guys, you know, we had 3 straight games we had played. We're down double digits in the first 3-4 minutes of the game, and we mixed it up a little bit, played some zone, which we've never done before. Started the game in it just to mix things up and give a different look and shake things up. And the kids handled it very well. And then late in the game, you know, it was a close game, and we went back to the zone, and we made no mistakes. We got 5 or 6 straight stops. It started, Cumberland got a steal for a layup, which we get very few of those. He probably missed it, and Kamari got the rebound and laid it in, but Kamari had said, "I want to get 30 today," so JC was just helping him out. And we got a win, a really important win for this, not for the program, not for anybody else. I know our fans, it's important to them, but from our standpoint, not from the program, not for this group of kids trying to figure out who they are and what this team is. It was a hell of a win and a huge win for us, so I'm really happy.
Questions for the players first?
Kamari, what went into that massive performance for you?
Just preparation. Honestly, I got a lot of shots up over these past couple of days. And just what Coach Kepi said in the start of this game, he challenged us to come out and compete, and I think we did a good job of that tonight.
Kamari, Coach just said you shoot without a memory. You know, whatever happens, the last game happened the last game. You come out, you're capable of these performances. You expect these performances, don't you?
Yes, sir. I do expect them. Yeah, I just don't really have a rearview mirror. You know, I just muscle memory. That's what I call it. That's pretty much it.
Javen, were you helping Kamari trying to get 30?
Yeah, the hot hand today, so just give him the ball.
How you doing, Kamari? Good game. What made you pick Oakland University after leaving George Mason?
Just the coaching staff. It was closer to home. You know, Coach Campy and his coaching staff, a great coaching staff. They had a lot to do with me coming here. So, and coming out of high school, I always liked Oakland and the offensive style that they play with. So, that played a huge part.
Any other questions for players? All right, thanks, guys. Open it up to questions for Coach.
Did you feel today was a must-win?
I thought it was a very important win for this team. There are no must-wins in January. But for this team and their confidence in who they are, I thought it was the performance that they put out had to be top-notch. A week ago, Thursday, we proved we can beat the best team in the league. So we know that we're capable. But consistency is the hallmark of greatness, and this team's got to learn consistency. They also have to learn how to win at home. You know, for the last couple of years, home's, you know, you're supposed to win at home, and we went on the road. 2 years ago, I think we were 8-1 in the league on the road, and won the league championship, but I think we're 5-3 at home and 8-1 on the road, or 6-3 at home. So, you know, we've got to get back to, we have the best fan base in the league, we have the best home court advantage, we have the best student section. We do. There are other people that would challenge that, but consistently it is. And it should be a tough place to play, and it used to be, and that's on me to get it back to that.
Greg, Detroit keeps winning, so now all of a sudden this is a game that maybe people are looking at and kind of shrugging their shoulders before the season, outside of your circle, now be paying a little more attention to.
Well, I've always said that I want Detroit and Oakland to be the best two teams in the league. I want them to be second. Always have. You know, the first year that we got in the league and all the hype and everything, we went down there, they had the largest crowd they'd had in 20 years. They had 7,000 people at the game. We won the game. Still one of the most gratifying wins I've ever been part of. We come here, we set the attendance record. The next year we set the attendance record. They've struggled for a couple of years, so now when we play them, there's only been 3,000 or 4,000, and probably 2 of those are from Oakland. I'm expecting 7,000 Saturday, and I'm happy that they're good. And I'm going to tell you something. That kid, I've done this 41 years, and many of those years have been mid-major basketball, and I've never seen anything like that kid at the mid-major level as a freshman. If that kid were at Oklahoma, their fans would be going, Trey who? That's how good that kid is. I mean, he is, I've never seen him at our level, I've never seen anything like it. And you know me, Pat, that game means more than anything in the world. I've watched almost every possession of every game they've played already. And starting in about 2 hours, I'll be watching every other possession. You know, I'm in my office today watching their game before our game, and I never do that. That's how good that kid is, and I don't have a clue how we're going to guard him.
The other thing is, you know, your transfer comes in, he scores 33. You know, you're a big guy, he's had 20 points, but usually you got some big star. You usually have something to hang your hat on that's like super tangible. This year you got a team of like not big names, you know,
Right.
people. And
Well, they had no names. They had
Yeah.
no returner.
Yeah, and you got a couple kids that are emerging here.
Mhm.
You know, you become a bit of a star maker. I mean, I don't think anybody thought. I'm not trying to give you
I
too
know,
much
I know.
credit, but
You never have, Pat.
yeah,
We all
no.
know that.
But the AP, you know, I mean, Kay Felder, nobody thought he'd be a
Right.
All-American, third-team All-American. Nobody thought Bader would break J.J.
Right.
Redick's record. Nobody thought when Reggie Hamilton came in here to lead the nation in scoring. You got a couple kids here that look like they may have some upside that nobody thought. Do you see that, or are they just scrappy?
Well, I think one of the things that, and I'm going to pat my staff, don't take this as patting myself on the back, I'm patting my staff on the back. All those guys you've talked about, I think we've developed. They weren't stars. As Raul Marshall couldn't play at Ball State, and he's in the NBA.
Benson.
And Benson averaged 3 points a game as a senior in high school. I think that we are really good. The strength of Oakland's coaching staff for 25 years has been I've had great coaches who can develop players. And then our system allows them to play. I'll take credit for that. Our system allows them to be stars. And, you know, Xavier is just kind of struggling with being a star right now because he was averaging 25, 6 a game, and then they started game planning against him. And post players aren't supposed to average those kind of points. Even the nation's best, Bill Walton didn't average those kind of points. Post players average, the great ones, 15, 16 because they don't get the one-on-one. Xavier was averaging that. Now he's getting everybody's game planning against him, and the other guys are starting to step up. And that's how you develop and grow as a team. And we knew that this year was going to be a development year, a growth year. Unfortunately, you start off 3-0, and now, oh, they're great. And our kids thought we were great, and we aren't. We're a long way away from being great. But you know something, Pat? We can get there. Whether it's this year or next year, we can get there. That's my opinion.
Coach, what about that next weekend? I mean, Detroit, Oakland,
I hope
it's
there's-
everything you wanted it to be, right?
Yeah, I hope they're in the seat in the house. I know we got buses going. I have no idea how we're going to guard that kid. Mike Davis is a friend. And you guys can ask Davis this. I want to hear what his answer is. We were the first one to offer his kid a scholarship. We were first. The kid was in Houston. We saw him play all in the AAU. We wanted him bad, and he committed to Houston. So, you know, I talked to Mike a lot last year, and then he took the Detroit job, you know, and brought the kid with him. Oh my God, you know. But I hope the place is jammed. I hope the game is won on a last-second shot by a guy wearing black.
Was it tough to keep your guys focused this weekend?
No. I had their focus from the time the game ended Thursday night through today. And that's why we won the game, because we had that focus. A lot of them could have thought that coach is crazy. I need to go take a nap, because that's the most active I've been on a sideline since way back in the day. Because I was not going to let them, you know. If a person was here for the first time and had never seen Oakland play, they'd probably think I'm nuts. Because that's how I felt tonight, because I was not going to allow them to do anything but give their best effort. That's my job sometimes.
Coach, you knew it was going to be up and down with this team. I mean, we knew that. We talked about that. Did you know it was going to be a Cedar Point roller coaster, though, like the way it's been the last week?
I'm glad it is, because that means there are highs, and that means the team's capable of having highs. And the Northern Kentucky game proved that, and now we've got to find our level to play at. And as long as we play as hard as we can, and we don't shy away from competition, I'll be pleased with the results.
Coach, I was watching Xavier play the first half comparison to the second half. Did you guys do anything different in the locker room? Because it looked like he was a little bit hurt in the first half.
Sick. He can't even talk. He's got laryngitis. He can't talk. You know, he was over and doing all this to me a couple times. Part of that is because that's who he is, but a part of it is he's trying to show me with his hands because he can't speak. And so we knew he was sick going in the game, but we didn't care because we had to win today. And he knew that too. And then the second half, one of the things we did is we went little. We played the second half predominantly with 4 guards and cleared the floor for him. No Beck, no Brechting. Because what happened in the first half was Beck and Brechting's man were leaving them and going down and doubling him. That allowed Beck and Brechting to get some layups, but it took the flow of our offense away. So we went little because they're a team that you can go little with because they're not real big.
Do you feel like you're teaching more this year than years past?
We have to. You have to, because it's all new. Now, what you don't see with years past team is we've always had even, I've never been in this position because I've never had a class like last year where we had, you know, 4 really, really good seniors, really, really good players that played a lot of minutes, and the 5th kid transferred, you know. And so you're starting over, you have to. Now, normally I have seniors and juniors that do a lot of the teaching for me. That's how the programs, that's how, in my opinion, a program has to be run. Take Izzo's program at Michigan State. Tum Tum Naren was so valuable to that team, not as a player, but as who he was in the clubhouse and in practice. And the expectations can't always come from the coach when you're at practice. It can't be me screaming and yelling to play hard all the time. It has to come from within. And we don't have that this year because we didn't have anybody that's comfortable with that role, that's confident with that role, because we didn't know whose role is what. So the answer to your question is yes.
And just to clarify, you're saying you aren't nuts, or?
No, I certifiably. I think you go ask our fans, they'll tell you that.
Any other questions?
All right, thank you.